This is a relatively easy one. The piping is actually attached to the outside border, so I'm going to unstitch from here to here, and I think just by pulling that in it should pull it in, but I'll show you how I'll do that. First thing I'm going to do is cut back these threads. They're not going to be needed anyway, and they just get in the way as you're working on the project. So it's just a way of neatening everything up first. Here's the corner here, which I'm going to take it into. I'm going to take it to about here, because when I look at the seam, this comes in and that's the weak point. So I want to take this seam out a little bit further. So I'll take it to here, and that should be fine on this side. And then that gets into quite a thick area for the seam to go in. As I come along here, I'm going to just make sure that these loose threads are out. It's a bit off-putting because I thought that this was all part of the seam that had come apart, but it's not. It's the fabric on the piping. I just need to make sure that all of this seam that will be going in is on nice clean fabric. I'll check along here, and then the next part is here. And here again, let's have a look. Oh dear, that's coming in here. I'm actually going to take it down to here. I think the way that it's sewn in, it won't give there, but it's a very weak point because it's right on the edge. So as I say, I'm going to bring this one down to here and then sew it in from there. That's quite a long piece to be pulled out. So again, find the stitches and cut. Make sure it's the top fabric you're taking out, not cutting into the bottom fabric. Make sure it's a clean line that you're going to be sewing into. I can see where the fold is for the top of the cushion, and I am going to pop a pin on that corner on this side, and then on this side, let's see, put that across. There's the corner for here, about there, and I ended up having to go all the way down here on this side because the seam is so close to the edge on there, which I didn't think was a good idea. I'm going to pop that onto there and pin that too. Just going to pull some more threads out if I can. I cut back some of the junk that was on here so it looks nice and neat. Same along the top here, I cut back most of it. There's still some long ones. I'll cut those long ones back as well. And on this side, I didn't have to go so far down, but there again I did it because the sewing threads were right on the edge, so it was only a matter of time before that just gave. Usually I have the piping on top when I do these things. Pop that under there, and I'm going to bring this in here with the edge of the good fabric against the edge of the piping there, only because if I pull it over too far it's going to look crooked. I'll pull out the odd stitches as I go. It should be 1/4 of an inch there, and so long as the raw edges are on the outside of that foot, it should be nice and even. Because if I pull it in too far it's going to look crooked. There we go. And I'm going to make my way into this corner at the top here, so I'm going to try to even this out as I pull it. I'm pulling at the top, making sure all of this lines in, all those horrible threads are that side, and so it's awkward because you've got to keep making sure that all of those loose threads are not going underneath. I think that's going to be fine. Take that out. I'm going to undo here so that I can maneuver everything separately. I'm just coming into the corner here, a couple more stitches, keeping the good outer edge even here. And then I'm going to start pulling the top into place as I go round. The bottom's going to stay straight as I pull the top into place. Pop that down, foot up, and then pull. I do have a problem. I need to make sure that this outer edge here is kept even again with the outside of that foot as much as possible, and all of this going that way. If I do it this way, the back should go in evenly, and as I go across it should even out. Now that I'm coming into this corner, I'll sew around like I did before, bringing this into shape. Okay, I'm going to have to see where that went wrong. When the fabric is old and stretched, it doesn't always want to go where you want it to go. It might go in. I think with a little bit of pulling and pushing that might go into the corner. but I might have to do it this way, upside down. I think it's a scent to try me. Put that out, see what happens. I think what I'll do is undo a little bit and then pull that around and in. That might work. I don't want to undo it, but I'm going to have to. And it's not very many stitches, it's only maybe a couple of inches. I've undone the section and I'm just going to pull this into place and around the corner, and hopefully everything will line up in such a way that I don't have to undo it again. The only thing doing it this way up is you can't really see your seam allowance very easily. Let's see what happens. I'm just over stitching those stitches a little way. Hope this is done. So now I've got to just sew this corner in, or do I? Do I need to? Yeah, I do. I can't get my finger through. It's just a couple of stitches, maybe half an inch where it wasn't sewn. It's overstitched quite a few times that side and on the other. I'll just put a plain foot on and get over there. I've moved the needle over so that the foot is better rested on the piping. Unfortunately, this isn't the foot that goes with this machine, so I'm just going to see if I can sew here. I'm overstitching the stitches that I've already stitched in. I'm going to aim from here to here, which is the ½ inch that's not sewn in, as straight as I possibly can, and then overstitch the stitches again. So if you can't get over an area, sew up towards it and then use your normal foot to go across. And although it's not stitched in every stitch, it's stitched in enough to hold it tight. And this is the patch on the back of the seat cushion, which I started here. It's a little bit loose here, but that really is the way it was cut. They didn't cut anything square, it's all, I don't know. And then this goes all the way down to here. I had to undo that much from there. And again, it comes out, but if it was cut straight, it would be a lot different. But I think this couple will be really pleased with their men's dogs. Who'd have them? They eat everything. If it weren't for those little puppy dogs, I wouldn't have a side job patching people's furniture up.